was out of town for a couple weeks visiting family, and then I caught COVID. So I was gone for a whole week longer than I expected. So it's been like 3 weeks. And I was looking at the weather today. I was like, oh, cool. We've got some sun breaks coming up through the week. This is going to be great. Then I realized that I still had my weather set on Oregon. And actually it's going to rain. So this is a little bit of dryness before it starts raining. I'm not feeling 100% still. I don't know how much stamina I have. But I'm going to try and move this pile of seaweed that I got before I left. And since I don't have enough to put on the 4 beds of garlic, which I really want to cover the garlic because it's just raining and raining and raining, and hopefully the garlic bulbs don't rot. But then I've got some greens here. Some of them look like they might have got hit by a little bit of freezing. And so I've got this 1 bed of carrots at the edge here that I want to cover before we do get a hard freeze, if it hasn't already frozen the tops of them. And so I've got enough seaweed for that, so I'm going to go ahead and move the seaweed onto this 140-foot bed. Seaweed pile is gone. I've got these 2 piles of leaves. I need to decide what to do. So I've got my carrot bed covered. Let's take a look. Carrot bed covered. And since I had a little bit of seaweed left, I put it over there by the blueberries. I was kind of worried about these blueberries because there's not a lot of soil around their little hooves. So nice to have some seaweed. I'd like to throw some more material over there when I have some time. Okay, done for now. I'm hoping to get some seaweed from off the beach, if there is any at some point, and cover my garlic beds finally. Carrot bed with seaweed. I am out here in the potato patch getting a few more potatoes just for some meals. At some point soon, I need to dig all of these potatoes. Okay, another load of seaweed. Okay, dudes, so I ended up with, 3 loads of seaweed. And so as soon as I have a chance, I'm going to get this out on the 4 garlic beds. Finally, okay, can you see? I've got 4 beds of garlic covered in seaweed. And I've got a little bit of seaweed left, maybe 1 truckload worth. And I've got it covered. You can see some sparkly. Can you see the sparklies sparkling? Maybe you can't. I think it's going to freeze tonight. So what I did was went over here to the potato patch where I still need to dig my potatoes. And I pulled this tarp over the top of it just in case it helps. I don't think it's going to freeze too hard tonight, but there you go. This is what the potato patch looks like in the daylight. I think it did freeze last night, but our thermometer recorder thing is not working, so I don't know for sure. I dug a few potatoes just for a few meals. I think I'm too tired right now to dig potatoes after yesterday. This is the bed of carrots that I covered with seaweed previously. And my 4 beds of garlic covered last night. Yay. I'm thinking what to do with the last bit of this seaweed here. It's about 1 full truckload. I'm getting about almost 2 40-foot beds per truckload. And then I've got these piles of leaves. I need to decide what to do. So I have an idea what I might do with this last bit of seaweed here. Obviously it's not enough to cover all of my beds, which is usually what I'm able to do. Even last year I was able to get seaweed on my raspberry patch, but I'm not seeing as much washing up off the rocks. So I don't know, some years are lean that way. So I'm thinking that maybe what I'll do is use this last little patch of seaweed in the greenhouses, because that's the equivalent of 2 40-foot beds. So that should be enough. And the last couple of years, I haven't gotten anything into those greenhouses. And like this last year, I just put some, you know, fertilizer on there. So that would be good. But yeah, I'm not going to do anything out here today, dig potatoes or move more seaweed, because my arms are tired. I think I'm going to give them a break. My arms, my back, my butt, my legs, everything. Okay, dudes and dudettes, I've given my muscles a rest. And so the plan is to clear out the moldy basil in both of the greenhouses. And then if I have time, to move this last bit of seaweed onto those beds. Okay, here's what this greenhouse looks like. Ew, disgusting. And what this greenhouse looks like. Ew, disgusting. Hi. I decided to put on a mask so I don't have mold. Look, it matches. Oh. Greenhouse 1 cleared out. Okay, so it's dark, but as you can see, or maybe you can't see, greenhouse 2 is cleared out. Okay, dudes, seaweed pile is gone. I put the seaweed tarps on top of that mound of soil so the rain can wash things off. 4 more wheelbarrows of seaweed on the blueberry patch. I got most of it in these 2 greenhouses. Okay. Greenhouse 1. I wanted to get the seaweed inside the greenhouses because it's supposed to start raining. Most of the time that I was moving the seaweed, it wasn't raining until towards the end, and then it started coming down. But yeah, I wanted to get it inside the greenhouses, so then if it's pouring down rain, I can get in there when it's cruddy outside and get the seaweed onto the beds. It's drizzling, but I'm going to dig potatoes today anyway, because next week we have a forecast for freezing nights all week long. And so I don't want to be worried about the potatoes freezing, and I don't want to be digging potatoes in freezing soil. So that's what I'm doing. Finally, harvesting potatoes. Okay, so I don't know if I got quite half of this bed dug up, but I am done for the night. I had to switch to my heavier raincoat because it was kind of raining a little bit more than I expected, and it was drenching my wimpy raincoat, which I need to figure out. Yeah, I'm not getting a lot of potatoes. Part of it's because I'm in, you know, this section where there was kind of a bare spot. So that's discouraging. Plus, I'm just spending all this time digging, and you know, like a bunch of scabby potatoes that I'm gonna have to spend so much time, you know, processing in order to, you know, not have them rot while they're storing. Okay, dudes, so I'm at it again. We have just kind of clear, cloudy skies. It froze last night. Little bit of ice on the puddles and the tarp, but it wasn't so bad that the soil underneath is frozen. So I'm digging out these potatoes. And what I'm gonna do is I think I'm gonna throw them on a tarp in the house, because I think the hoses might be frozen out here, so I can't run water and clean them out here. And then once I get everything dug up, I'll just start tackling, you know, cleaning off the potatoes in the house. That's the plan. Okay, it is almost dark. I got all the potatoes out. I've been scooping and throwing the soil this way. So I've kind of got a mound of loose soil and a trench going on here. I think I'm gonna throw the tarp back over since there's no roots or anything in here to hold the soil together as we get rain and whatever. Anyway, done. Potatoes. Mostly Haida, which is interesting. Okay, dudes, so it was super windy, and now we have, you know, weather change, completely blue sky, and supposed to have some more of this kind of weather, and then maybe some snow. So I want to get done out here. So what I need to do is clip back this kale, chard, collards, get these plants clipped down at the base, pull up the bin boards that I have in between to catch slugs, and just get that all pulled out of here. And then I still have these piles of leaves, and after I throw that waste veg over in the hugelkultur over here, I think I'm just going to move all these leaves on top over in the hugelkultur. Okie doke, so I've got all of the vegetation pulled from those beds. And I threw the kale right in the dip there in the hugelkultur. Next up, leaves. Okay, leaves in this low section of the hugelkultur. And I have got a mess over here. Bin boards, tarps everywhere. I made a little bit of progress last night. It's windy today. Okay folks, so it's too dark for show and tell. It's like 5:30. I'm gonna go over to the greenhouses and do a little work over there. But I wanted to document that I had moved my mint pots into this greenhouse. I'm just gonna cover them up with tarps. They've been outside in this freezing weather, so I don't know, are they gonna survive? This thing says 29 Fahrenheit. I think that's actually 5:30, not 6:30. So yeah, cover these puppies up. Okay, folks, all tidied up. And the plan is today to take down this mesh deer fencing, since there's nothing out here for the deer to eat anymore. Potato patch tarped up for the winter. I'm gonna leave the fencing up around the raspberry patch just because in the spring I don't have to worry about the deer coming in and nibbling any new shoots. So yeah, it was super windy yesterday. It's not windy right now, but the wind's supposed to pick up. So I'm hoping to get things done before that happens, if it happens. So I might as well sign out right now. I'm gonna be done. And my next video next week, I'll talk about, you know, coming up, what I'm gonna be doing for the winter. I've got everything from planning to get my tunnel put up here in this corner, my 20-foot by 60-foot NRCS tunnel. And then I've got, you know, a presentation I'm supposed to do on baby greens at the Farmers Summit this winter in February, you know, and then just personal stuff I'm going to be doing. I'm going to do a separate video about the potatoes I just harvested, you know, talk about the growing season and how I'm going to process them. for storage and for planting and stuff. So that's all coming up. I'll describe that in next week's video. Until then, I'll see you guys next week. p.m. Sun going over Warnofsky Island.